Chapter 7, Part 1. Early resistance movements against the British rule from the time period 1750 till the year 1857. Welcome to NIOS. Today we will study part 1st of the 7th chapter. The chapter's name is Popular Resistance Movement Against the British Rule. Our topic for today is Early Resistance Movements Against British Rule from the time period year 1750 till the year 1857. This is a very interesting topic of modern Indian history. I hope you will enjoy watching this video. Dear learners, do you know that our country India was ruled by Britain for almost 200 years? A long struggle for freedom was started by the people of India that led to the end of the British rule and independence of India in the year 1947. However, the people of India opposed the foreign rule right from the beginning. People in different parts of the country rebelled against the British rule. Now let us begin by understanding the meaning of the word resistance movements. A resistance movement is an organized effort by the people of a country to oppose the rule of the ruling class by disturbing the peace and stability of the ruling class. First, let us understand why people resist or oppose. People resist when they feel that their rights are being taken away. This means that all resistance movements are against some kind of exploitation. Learners, let us now study the causes of these popular resistance movements. You know, the British started many social and religious reforms, and Indians considered it as an attack on their religion. Let us try to understand this with the help of few examples. The Hindu Widow Remarriage Act was passed due to the efforts of Indian social reformer whose name was Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar in the year 1856. This allowed the remarriage of Hindu women who had become widow. Widow is a female whose husband had died. While due to the efforts of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, the Aunty Sati Act was passed in the year 1829. This act prohibited the burning of Hindu women with their dead husband. The Indians could not understand the value of these social reforms at that time and saw them as a conspiracy to convert them into Christianity. However, we should also remember that the British wanted to spread Christianity among Indians, and for this, missionaries were used. The local rulers were removed by the British by force. For example, when Governor General of India, whose name was Warren Hastings, when Warren Hastings attacked Banaras and imprisoned King Chait Singh to give him money and army. The people of Banaras rebelled. Another resistance movement was when the British tried to take away the land from polygars. They also rebelled. Polygars were the hereditary governors of South India. In short, we can say that the resistance movements were started by rulers who had been removed by the British and tribal people whose lands and forests had been taken away by the foreigners, and the farmers who were forced to pay increased land tax. Learners, during the Malabar Rebellion, this rebellion was in the Malabar region of Kerala. In this rebellion, the Muslim farmers revolted against the Hindu landlords. Here, the cause of the revolt was the difference in the religions of the rulers and the general public, as well as the exploitation by the ruling class. Let us now try to find out the methods adopted during these resistance movement. Violence was the most common feature of these resistance movements. As we see that in all these movements, the common people who were exploited attacked those who exploited them earlier. Do you know who were the people who exploited the common people? They were the Britishers ruling over India, or the zamindars, and wealthy people, or the moneylenders people. Learners, you just saw a new term, money lenders. Do you know who they were? The British increased the demand of land tax from the farmers. However, the farmers were dependent on rainfall for irrigation of their crops. During those years when there was good rainfall, farmers were able to pay the land tax, but in the year when the rainfall was low and the production of crops decreased due to poor rainfall, at that time also the British did not decrease the demand for revenue, and this forced the farmers to borrow money as loan from money lenders. These people charged very high rates of interest from the farmers. In fact, sometimes the farmers were not able to return the money or loan to the money lender and died. And do you know, after their death, their children had to pay the money. And in this way, the cruel system continued from one generation to the other. Learners, it is important to understand that the main aim of the British was to get as much income as possible from the farmers by increasing revenue or the land tax from them. Another movement was Santol Rebellion took place against the British and the zamindars who exploited the local population. This rebellion took place in the modern Jharkhand state of India. The British crushed it by using force against the Santals. On your TV screen, you can see the images of Sidhu and Kanhu. Sidhu and Kanu, who were the leaders of this revolt. Thus, we see that the early revolts against the British rulers were led by three groups. The first group was farmers, the second group of people was tribal people, and the third group of people was local zamindars and rulers. The cause of rebellions by all these groups was the same. That is to restore the political, economic, and social conditions that existed in the country before coming of the British to India. Let us one by one try to understand the reasons that forced each group to oppose the British rule in the country. The British had introduced new systems of land revenue collection in different parts of the country. For example, permanent settlement and Mahalwari settlement, or its other name is Mahalwari system, and Ryotwari system. We have already discussed about these revenue systems in our previous video. And we have already seen that even in the case of crop failure, when there is no rain and there is no crop, the British did not reduce the demand of land tax. And due to this, the farmers were forced to borrow money from moneylenders. And the rate of interest on this loan was so high that the farmers mostly failed to pay it during their lifetime, and the loan was passed on to their children. Thus, the farmers were exploited by British and zamindars and also by the moneylenders. The rulers and zamindars who had been removed from their place also hated the foreigners, and they rebelled because they wanted to get back their former status. They wanted to be free from this unwanted pressure. The tribal people rebelled against the British rulers because of the few reasons. Now we are going to discuss those reasons. The first reason was the non-tribal people started increasing agriculture area by occupying the forests. And this led to loss of land and resources to the tribals. The second reason was demand for wood increased with the construction of railways in India. as wood was needed to make tracks for railways. The British government completely controlled the forests. This also made the tribals people angry. The third reason was, with more and more non-tribals people coming and settling in forests, the social and cultural setups of the tribals was changing. It changed a lot. This also became the reason that tribal people rebelled against the British rulers. Dear learners, as we have come to the end of this video, let us quickly revise what we have learnt in this session till now. First, we discussed about the meaning of resistance movement. Second, we discussed about the causes of resistance movements against British rule in India. Third, we discussed about the methods adopted by the rebels during these resistance movements. Fourth, we discussed about the explanation of the problems faced by different groups against the foreign rule. I hope you have understood this video well. If you have any query or you have any doubt, you can send us email at signlanguage@nios.ac.in. Also, you can visit our NIOS website www.nios.ac.in. Thank you for watching.